So here we are, we've just got into December and we have come back down to the site of the new electric arc furnace here in Port Talbot Steelworks. We're standing on a bit of ground which is actually where the new Consteel conveyor will be. It's an area that used to be called Harscoe Bank, and but that bank isn't here anymore. It's all been excavated in preparation for the foundations of the new structure. Really pleased to be joined by Nathan Jones. Nathan, your section manager here with Sir Robert McAlpine, key contractor on site. Before we talk about kind of what's going to be in place here, talk to us a bit about how did you get to this place? What work has happened already?
So today, Tim, we've obviously began the enabling works here with Tata and Sons, and obviously we've dug this area down. We've taken the material, we've processed the said material and transformed it into a 6F2 for reusable on site. So what we're currently stood on is obviously what Darlow's have finished.
Yeah.
We've recycled the excavated material and placed it back in these piling mats. Yeah. So going forward now, obviously the next sort of steps will be piling. So we'll bring the rigs in, we'll start augering, placing our foundations inside of the piling mat. Once that's obviously done, then we'll follow on with the civils contractors. Yeah. We'll start munching down on said piles, exposing the rebar to allow us to build the pile caps. And then obviously we'll go from that then to start building the slabs and bringing everything up out the ground.
So listen, there's quite a lot to dig into there, and you know, love the way you're so blasé about, oh, we had to take some material out of the ground. You were telling me earlier, there's 360,000 tonnes of material had to be taken out of Harscoe Bank. And not only that, a whole load of buildings have had to be demolished at the same time. Tell me a bit about how you managed to do all that.
So we've obviously worked with Lloyd & Sons, brought in the relevant plant, and we've obviously started with this plant to reduce it. We've carried on up until the end of September with these works, reduced it all down, got it to the level we needed, and then built the piling platforms. But obviously the guys now, as you can see behind us, they're still ongoing with the last couple of bits, just tidying up the areas. But yeah, it's been a long process, but with the fair play to the guys, they've done a cracking job.
They have done a cracking job, and where we're stood at the moment, we are 12 metres below where Harscoe Bank was before, you were saying, and there's 3 plateaus here, 3 different levels. Tell me what that's all about.
So we've obviously got our 3 different levels from the boss plant in front of us now. The Consteel building will come out so far, probably just behind us from where we're stood. The middle plateau then takes the pipe work up then to the upper plateau, to the FEP stack, so the big chimney then where it all goes to.
Yeah, and you say FEP, that's the fume extraction plant.
Fume extraction plant.
That'll have a giant pipe coming out of the electric arc furnace. And talk to us a bit as we look around, some of the structures that you've had to take down as well.
So, fair play to my colleague Christian. He's obviously undertaken with Bath Demolition some of the demolition work externally as well as internal to the boss plant. So we've removed the substation and the compressor air building. The mechanical workshop is literally, they've just finished dropping that now. So the works for the demo is done. They've obviously got the lift shaft remaining on the south side of the EAF extension. Yeah. And then inside the boss plant now, they're still ongoing at the minute with the RHD gasser, hoping to wrap that up by Friday. And fair play, they've done a cracking job. They landed a very similar time and they've cracked on and done the work.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the transformation, and you really don't see it from the other side of the Boss Lagoon. You don't appreciate the size or the amount of material that has been removed and the buildings that have been removed. I just want to dive there into a bit you were saying earlier, Nathan, about what happens next. You described this as a bed for drilling piles. Tell people in the simple terms, what is a pile? What's it made of? How big was it? How deep are they? How many are they going to be?
So it varies. On this project, we're looking at approximately 700 piles. Essentially, it compromises of either a precast concrete or we do it on site, essentially. So we'll have a reinforcement cage. We'll auger into the ground. We'll bring the concrete in. As we're pulling the auger out, it'll be filled with concrete, and then we drop our reinforcement cage in. So it's quite a labour-intensive sort of work, and it's very mechanical orientated. Yeah. But obviously, it'll put the ground to its test and to stress it to its limit in trying to get the job done.
Yeah, because of course we are still on the original steelworks site here. People shouldn't imagine, however, that these are just like, you know, relatively small, short holes in the ground. Tell me how deep some of those holes are going to go.
Depending on the design, some could potentially go up to a depth of 22 to 26 metres, depending on the design, obviously.
That sounds like another amazing piece of work. 28 metres deep, it's difficult to comprehend it really, but I guess there's a fairly big piece of kit going on here, and that will provide the stable foundations. Tell us a bit about what's going to happen in the coming weeks as we see preparations to be made for that process.
So currently we're just undertaking the last bit of the install for the drainage. So we're installing the last of the manholes and the filter drains in this area, so we have adequate drainage during the piling operations. Our next sort of contractor now, which is on Groundworks 1, is continuing on with the piling mat up to the boss plant and into the boss plant, so we can get these platforms ready then essentially for when the piling contractor lands on site, hopefully in February.
Yeah, well, we look forward to that, and we'll definitely come back to see it happening. I have to say, fair play to you for the amount of work that's been completed so far. Until you get down here on the ground, it is impossible to understand the scale of the work and the extent of the work. The other thing I would say is fair play to you. This is a reasonably mild day for December. It's still bloody cold out here, and over the next few months I can't see it getting any better. So fair play to you and the guys who are out here doing all this work. Good luck to you as it goes forward, and we'll definitely come back and see you soon.
Yeah, I look forward to it, Tim, and hopefully we'll get you back out here and you can see the progress.
Thanks very much, Nathan.
Cheers.